What's up, guys? To anybody who is happening to watch this video, I appreciate it. I know there's not going to be a whole lot of you, but for the ones that do, I appreciate that, and I hope this is of some value to you in your life. So what I'm going to touch on in this video is I think it's like three main things that I do to avoid stress. I won't claim that I'm very good at a lot of things in life, but I feel like not stressing about things that I can't control is one thing I would be willing to say I'm pretty good at. And it didn't really, I kind of lucked into it. Just whatever mindset I carry, it kind of just lucked into just the way I am. The way I think about things, and it actually took some time, and I'm still working through it, but it took some time to kind of figure out what the qualities I had were that enabled me to not worry about things so much, because people started pointing it out to me that, even in spite of a lot of my circumstances that I've been in, I always seem to maintain a happy demeanor and just not worrying about stuff. And so I thought I would kind of share about what I think I do to keep that state of mind where I don't worry about things. And I think there's three main things. So like first, what I do a lot, and I didn't even realize this at first, but one thing I do a lot is I like sit here and I imagine, like in any given scenario, I kind of imagine the worst case scenario of that. I'll touch on like financial things, for example, because that's the root of a lot of stress for people in America, at least, is just, not having your finances in order and being month to month on stuff and always worrying about bills and whatnot. And that's a place I'm in right now. But I always imagine, like, what's the worst case scenario? If I don't get any work this month, if I have no money, if I can't pay the rent, so on and so forth. It's like, well, it can get fairly ugly. I'm not denying that it can't. Like, I could not pay rent. I could end up getting evicted, and all this stuff. But ultimately, like, no matter how I approach it, and no matter like where I see it going, in the end, I feel like it's almost impossible for us to get to a place where my family's not fed, and we don't have some sort of roof over our head, and we don't have each other. And no matter what else happens in any scenario, if we're together, me and my family, we have food and we have a place to lay our heads, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be happy, honestly. I mean, we'll have our struggles, but nothing's going to take that from me. And you got to think, especially if you're a believer, you got to think more big picture. Like, this life is such a small blip on the radar. Do something, if you're not dealt the best hand in life, so be it. Go do something with your life that serves a greater purpose. And it will be purposeful, so I go there a lot. I think of worst case scenarios, and every time I do that, maybe it's just me, I always come out of it thinking, you know what, that's not that bad. If that happens, then so be it. Whatever, well, I'm gonna roll with it, and we're gonna make the best of it. And if it happens, it happens. So I do that. But the second thing I've got to do with it is I can't just accept whatever happens and not do anything about it. It's like, I've also got to be doing the things that I can control to keep us from falling into this worst case scenario. And so sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's doing hard things. Often it's not even doing that hard of stuff. But you have to do the things that you can control, or else you're putting yourself in the positions you're in. If you're doing the things that you can control to control your situation, then even if it doesn't work out and you fall into that situation, still there's just a different level of peace with the situation, knowing like, well, I did what I could, but I'm still here. This is where I'm meant to be. It's versus if you just neglect all of your responsibilities and don't do anything, any of the things that are in your control, you just push them off to the side and don't worry about it. And then when you fall into that terrible situation, one, you're going to feel pretty crappy about yourself. It'll probably put you in a place of depression. Other people are going to be less willing to help you if they don't see you trying to help yourself. So you have to do the things that you can control, and you have to put in the effort. When you do that, no matter what your situation is, it's much easier to live with. It's much easier to accept and just move on with it. And it's much easier for people to help you. I'll probably do this in a different video, but I cannot stress enough the importance of good community, good people around you, good friends, just a solid community to be with. And those are the people that kind of hold you up when you're down. And so do the things you can control. And when you do that, the worst case scenario, it's usually not going to be that bad. Okay? The third thing, what was the third thing? I think the third thing is when you're doing the things you can control, you have to learn to accept the things that are out of your control. So basically accepting the outcome. Do what's in your control, do what you can, and whatever that outcome is, I kind of touched on this with the other stuff, you have to learn to accept that. And this is something I've not really known how to communicate. Like I've tried with my wife. She worries a little bit more than I do, and I've tried to help her kind of get inside my own head and explain how I just accept where we're at when we're doing what we can. I don't really know what that is, but it's something I fully believe it's something you can train. You can train your brain to learn how to accept whatever scenario is presented to you, especially when you're doing what you can control. I've said that a lot of times, but I think that's a huge piece of it. So do what you can control. Imagine the worst case scenario. Realize that it's not as bad as the world wants to tell you it is, and accept the outcome of whatever situation, whatever life throws at you. Because I think we carry around a mindset of we're always trying to find a place where we don't have problems anymore. I feel like that's what people strive for, a place where there's no more problems and it's smooth sailing. The problem with that is it doesn't exist. Every problem you come up against, you fight it, you battle it, and you get through it and get to the other side. There's gonna be something else. There's gonna be another problem. Life is never gonna be a place of complete ease and carefree living. I mean, there's always going to be something you're working against, and that's just the way it is, but that's for a reason. Like, this isn't our permanent home. We are here for a reason. God knows that reason. He is using all of these struggles and trials and tribulations to sanctify us, to help us grow, to help us put more of our faith in Him versus ourselves, to realize that we are helpless without Him, and so that we are more equipped to serve His purpose instead of our own. And so there's always going to be something that you're going through. Carry the mindset of life being a series of problem solving. A series of situations where you have a problem to solve, how to become more and more resilient through each one, how to see the purpose of each one of these problems, and know that your entire life is going to be a process of growth. There is no finish line until, you're done with this life. And I think you got to shift your mindset in that way. And I think that will help you live just kind of this stress-free lifestyle. And I say stress-free loosely. There's really no such thing as stress-free. We live lives where we're going to stress, but you can control it to an extent to where it doesn't just debilitate. Can't say that word. It doesn't just run you down. Y'all know what I mean. So I think you got to keep this stuff in mind. I'm going to point to a piece of scripture in Philippians 1. It's towards the end of Philippians 1. I want to say like verse 29 or something. But it says there, it has been granted to us. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. I don't have it in front of me, but it's been granted to us to basically to suffer like Christ. And that word granted right there, if you look back at the original language, if that word granted, basically it means it's a gracious and pleasant gift from God to suffer in this life. So when we're going through stuff, rather than thinking, oh, why is this happening to me? I got to get rid of this problem. I can't be suffering like this all the time. It's not fair. But really, like, look at it from the lens of that is whatever you're going through, as hard as it may be. Some things are worse than others. And I'm not saying it's always going to be easy to carry this mindset, but it is a gracious and pleasant gift from God to suffer in these ways, because no matter what it is, He's going to use it for the good of the kingdom. And you just gotta carry that mindset. But that's what I got for today. I've just been kind of thinking about this stuff as I work through my financial mess and try to come out the other side. But I'm just trying to find different ways to grow in all of this. Work's actually been pretty good recently. I've picked up a few jobs. I'm booked out for a couple months, month and a half maybe. And so I gotta find a way to be efficient in these jobs, and I'll update you guys in more detail on that stuff. I might do something like that at the beginning of every month, just update you on how work's going and what jobs I'm pulling in, what the short-term future is looking like and stuff as I continue to try and grow this business. But that's what I got. I hope that's helpful to somebody. Let me know what you think. If you think I'm wrong in any of these areas, please tell me. I'm not just posting these to put stuff out there. I'm posting this stuff to be corrected on any areas where I'm lacking knowledge or anything like that. So, or if I'm short-sighted on something. But I don't plan this stuff out, so I'm just kind of winging it when I film these videos. So if there's something I said that you don't agree with, let me know. I'm definitely open to being corrected. So appreciate you watching if you watched it, and look forward to doing the next one.